At Buckby Motors, we're passionate about cars and driven by a love of motorsport. From the open roads to the rally stages, the same passion fuels everything we do in the business. Born right here in Tasmania, our story has always been about community, locals supporting locals and a passion for performance and adventure. With a lineup of trusted brands like Subaru, Skoda, Mercedes and Renault, we're proud to offer something for every Tasmanian driver. We love our cars, our rally and our community. At Buckby Motors, every car we sell and every event we support is keeping it local, keeping it passionate and keeping Tasmania driving. We're built on passion and we're powered by locals. We get it because we live it. Whether it's your first car, your next car, or the ride that takes you off the beaten track, you'll find it here. Come share the adventure at Buckby Motors.
It is a spectacular part of the country, no doubt about that. From the gateway to the north in Launceston, we head west along the Bass Highway past Devonport, where the Spirit of Tasmania has delivered many of our competitors, to Burnie, where the Little Penguins join us of an evening on the shoreline. But most importantly, it also contains some of the most spectacular rallying roads that our country has to offer, including this one here at Preolenna. Chris Stubbs with you. It is a great pleasure to also have with me today Australia's leading motorsport broadcaster in Greg Rust, and also alongside him is the voice of Australian rallying, competitor, team owner, commentator, he can do the lot, Dean Herridge. Welcome. This is the Buckby Motors Rally Tasmania. No better place to wrap up our E-Road Australian Rally Championship than right here, our sixth and final round. Dino, it's a special one, isn't it?
It's a great place to come, and some magic roads here in Tasmania, and the teams are very excited about what's coming.
What a season, Rusty, we have had. The sixth and final round, and fitting that the championship goes down to the line. It will be decided here. It'll be decided tomorrow, endurance format this weekend, but we have travelled across the country and seen some spectacular sights.
Subsy, good morning to you. Good morning to everybody. I'm a bit concerned about the Penguin segue. Here we are, three of us front of screen. What a year. We've crisscrossed the country, seen some amazing roads, and we were just talking off air before we started the live stream today about the fact that the surfaces, the climate, the conditions in each of the venues we go to offer something really unique for the competitors. And the roads here this weekend in Tassie, the Apple Isle, a little bit of rain overnight. It's turned it on for today. It's going to be great.
Absolutely. So the 2 days of competitive stages in total, 14 of them, 8 today, 6 tomorrow, 217 kilometres, as we mentioned, an endurance format. So we start where we start and we finish where we finish. It's not a Heat 1 and a Heat 2, and it is all to play for the title, Rusty.
So here is the state of play coming into the final round here. Just a reminder what Chris said there a moment ago, endurance format for this. So Hayden on top, but got to get to the finish line on Sunday night. He's got a really solid haul in the bank. Fundamentally just needs to finish 12th or better. For Lewis Bates, he's got to lay it on the line. He knows that. He is up for this fight. And we have some other class battles to be decided here this weekend too. Going to be good.
Yeah, they're all decided here, as you say. All the categories and classes, Production Cup on the line, WX Challenge, etc. So
Preolenna 1, this is the stage we're covering for you. And welcome, thank you for your company on our live stream around Australia and the world. 10.41 kilometres zigzag road. It's a real mix. There's some fast bits. It's undulating, some technical tight sections as well. Damp, Rusty, you mentioned a significant amount of rain yesterday, up to 20 mil, but these roads are in great condition, aren't they?
Where we are, you can just see the little marker there on the stage graphic. We're at the bottom of a hill, a bridge crossing directly behind us. We should say kia ora too, because Paddon's pack, there is about 30 Kiwis that have infiltrated the Aussie forest. They are here supporting him this weekend, and at the same time, they're keeping an eye on what's happening with our buddy Colin Clark in the WRC this weekend, and of course, Rally Whangarei across the ditch in New Zealand. So if you're a rally fan, it is happening this weekend.
It sure is, and of course, we have some Kiwis in the championship. Emma Gilmore joining us for this round as well, so they've got plenty to cheer about.
Chatting to Emma earlier today, and yes, You could be on the South Island of New Zealand. It is beautiful here and so similar to what we see across the ditch, though. Let's catch up with one of our first competitors. We had the Bosch Motorsport Rally last night, the ballot deciding our starting order for our top 3 seeds. And it was Harry Bates, the defending champion of this rally and of the series, who drew that number 1 seed. So he's leading them off. Let's hear from him. Rusty, you caught up with him earlier today.
Everyone's kind of talking about the championship, but that means you can just do your own thing and kind of go gloves off, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. No championship battle for us. We can just focus on our own event and not even worry about the points, which is slightly refreshing. But it'll be tricky being car 1 today. We'll be the pioneers into relatively unknown conditions. So looking forward to getting out there and just finding a rhythm on what will be, I reckon, challenging stages.
So, Dino, yesterday and the day before, we've had a little bit of time. We had testing a couple of days ago, but so different after the downfall yesterday.
Well, normally you'd be sitting in the service park or at your hotel with the amount of rain. We had something like 28 mil yesterday, and most stages would struggle. Organisers would be in a frenzy trying to say, can we run? Is it passable? Is it safe, etc. You know, the Tasmanian roads, if there's one thing, they're built for water. They're hard packed in a lot of ways. So no nervous energy about that, and they will be magic to drive. That little bit of water actually, would you believe, adds a bit of grip. There'll be absolutely some slippery parts, but where we are, it looks magic.
Some pre-event course cars came through while we were setting up before, and one very smiley, Les Walkden, was at the wheel of one of them, and that, I think, said to us everything about the state of the roads. You talk about them, they kind of grip up after a bit of this rain, don't they?
We get a little bit of moisture rather than being on the top, and we've got some vision here. Obviously, Harry Bates coming into the background now. These will be just nice to be able to move the car, pivot around, and be at one with it. So a great section of road that we're covering here. Good shot from the drone as Harry Bates, car 1 and pioneering this morning.
Make their way down the hill towards the bridge crossing. They go left over there and then directly past us.
The hairpins, a few people down there, a couple of photographers as well. They head down towards us now, towards the bridge. Maximum attack through here.
Beautiful line. That's nice.
A lot of push coming in. That rally tide does not like the tarmac through, but you can see the commitment and the speed of these Rally 2 cars. Really good to watch. What a great spot.
Dino, 5 different surface changes in about 200 metres behind us with the bridge over the Calder River. How challenging is that?
Well, I think he noticed that. As Rusty said, he came in with a nice line, but you just see it pushing that, the block that does so good on the gravel just rolls over, but he did a great job. Nice line and plucked the gears through.
Before we hear from Hayden Patton, who will be our second runner, what we want to know about is the time so far.
Time so far. So overall in the rally, done 2 stages already, about 30 kilometres or so. Scott Petter leading the way, 6.8 in front of Harry. Hayden Patton 11 behind, and 2 behind him is Lewis.
All right, well, let's hear from Hayden, our championship leader.
There's been so much talk about the championship. Must be nice just to get behind the wheel and forget all that.
Yeah, exactly, especially a bit of overnight rain as well to make conditions tricky this morning, but we just got to get through. That's the early goal. Just want to get things started and I guess get it into a bit of a rhythm.
Enjoy it.
Thank you.
Certainly has plenty of supporters, and here he comes now, Rusty.
And the question mark, of course, is if he can clinch this and add it to the success that he's had in the European Rally Championship, the unbelievable tally across the ditch in New Zealand, would he come back and defend it next year? And he said to us in a story which you can find on the ARC or the rally.com.au platforms, that's up to a number of factors at the moment around sponsorship and so on, but he would love to come and play again. We can hear the Hyundai on approach now.
Yeah, 11 seconds down after 30 Ks, but he is so good. He's a measured driver. We've seen that before. He's happy to let him chase. He's not ego-driven. He's not trying to bank as many. You can start to hear the cowbells happening in the background behind us with the Kiwis. He comes down to that hairpin now. Nice line. Little loose on entry. Flicks it through. Just you can see a bit patient, I thought, which is good. Exactly what he should be doing.
Now to the bridge.
The Kiwis there, probably distracted slightly. Look at him, crossed it up nicely on the tarmac. Had that set up much different to Harry.
That had a lot more attitude to it. Talking yesterday about just the need to maybe take a fraction off some of the moments where you might risk things just to ensure he clinches this championship. Good stuff.
Yeah, very smart. And I think that's the best way to say. You talk, can you go 95%? What he's saying, no, there's sections I'm going 100%. It's just lifting on the crest that you might go flat over normally. And in that one there, he had it set up. He could run through. No dramas.
A great morning for Scotty Petter. Rusty caught up with him.
You're back. Do you ease in or full Scott Petter normal?
Oh, probably Scott Petter normal, but it's just fantastic to be here. The roads are just awesome here, and the conditions obviously been raining all week, but I think it's actually better for the roads.
So good to have Scott Petter back, isn't it?
And I think the thing is, He talked about it in a podcast some months ago now about just the need for a little reset to get back to the fun of rallying. He has come back to this with a repaired, newer generation Skoda. I think with the right outlook, Dino, it's perhaps a little bit of a different Scott Petter this weekend, still with, though, that trademark attack and aggression that we love.
Well, that's what we've been chasing. He can drive, there's no doubt about that, but just the pressure was building up a little bit. Something had to give the nice reset here. I think he's at his best when he's just driving, not thinking about the championship, all that sort of stuff. I mean, I've known him for a long time. I do sense there's something different about it. He's saying some of the similar words I've heard him say before, but it's in the mannerism. I can see that he's believing in it. He had a fantastic sleep. He doesn't sleep much, this guy, would you believe? He said, I had 8 hours sleep last night. It's never happened before, so maybe it's a great omen. 2 stage wins on the trot, but I think measured. Love to see him through here. Great to have Petter back in the championship.
Stubbsy, they talk, the Heritages, both Rob and Dean, about the mental game of this sport. So what Dean just alluded to there is so important. Let's have a look at the way he attacks this. Oh, he's over the bridge and right in front of us, loses it. Unbelievable.
Have to select reverse. Oh, shit, come on, Scotty, get it fired up. So just had it a bit crossed up there. Had to reset, fire it up.
He might be able to catch it.
Yeah, he'll be a bit disappointed that he had to throw it in right in front of us.
He'll be kicking himself about that too. It had a lot more attitude than the other two that have come through on the bridge, didn't it? Amazing.
And I think that was a very honest and raw reaction from a team manager there in DH as well. So we're getting excited. He's given us a real show. He's got Petters a little bit of extra airtime. Great stuff there. Let's hear now from Lewis Bates. He's in the title contention.
What are moments like this like to deal with, knowing that you've got to kind of put it all on the line?
Oh, it's pretty exciting, to be honest. It's been waiting a few weeks for this moment, and really excited to get going. Obviously, a little bit nervous. It's a big event. It's the final event of the year, but we're just focusing on one stage at a time and going to try and enjoy ourselves.
An enormous weekend. He has won the title before. He knows what it's like to go all the way to the final day in a season, but it's a big weekend.
I love the style of this bloke. I mean, he's got such great people in that whole organisation to draw from in these moments. It wasn't a fluke what he did all those years ago. I don't think he should talk like that. You know, this is... He will give it his absolute best shot here this weekend, and credit to him, he's enjoyed going up against Hayden Paddon and the learnings from that in 2025.
So we picked this spot for a reason. We thought it might provide us with some action, and it certainly did that with Scott Petter coming through the last time.
I've already had some notes, commentator's curse. I should be standing.
That is going to go viral. That is going to go viral.
That's the 5 surface changes that you said. Lewis here, I feel like he's a confidence driver, though. These roads will suit him. He likes consistency. So I think he's been competitive on the first 2 loops. Coming through here, a bit like his brother, a bit more circumspect, a little bit of push. But you can see, neat and tidy, very rarely makes a mistake.
You talked about the understeer before. It was as though he was allowing for that nice line through the bridge there.
You just see, he knows that's a tricky spot. He played it well.
So 85 points is the gap, 110 points up for grabs. Alex Rouleau, he had a great weekend at our last round, finishing in 3rd outright. Let's catch up with him.
Between recce and now sort of the first proper day of action, how much difference are you expecting in the roads?
There's been a bit of rain yesterday, so expecting it to be damp out there, but I think the roads should hold up pretty good. So there'll be some tricky spots, but we'll see. I guess it's a bit of an unknown.
So Alex just taking another step throughout this year. He's heading off to France with a mate, doing a bit of snowboarding in the weeks to come after the Adelaide rally.
What a couple of months he's had. World time attack with that unbelievable Lamborghini, some tarmac rallying of late, and off the back of the result that you mentioned there before in South Australia too. So, Dino, probably worth just recapping the results as we get set for Alex to approach. Here's the standings at the moment.
Well, it's going to change because obviously we talked about SP or Scott Petter being up in front by 6.8. It was Paddon. He was doing a good job in the early ones, 11 seconds off. Lewis Bates, 13.9. Then there's quite a gap to this guy, Alex Rouleau, who was 50.4 seconds behind the top 4. Richie Dalton not far behind him. Emma Gilmore, Troy Dow, Peter Rouleau and Bodie Reading rounding out the top 10 leading into this particular stage.
Remember, Reading can wrap up the Wolfbrook Production Cup too. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
We should have times by now. I don't think we've got any times from anybody. I've looked on a couple of different things. So as soon as we get them for this stage, we'll share them with you. See how much time Scott Petter did drop. Where we are, magic spot. If you're spectating, we can hear them coming for a minute or so, can't we? Just the left onto the tarmac. Oh, big push, and just wobbled on him slightly.
A bit of driving there, Alex Rillo on the attack, no doubt about that. One of our star drivers this weekend, a big welcome to Tasmania for the first time ever, Emma Gilmore, not just in terms of rowing, but she's never been to the Apple Isle, so welcome, Emma, and we also put up with you.
We're excited to have you here. This car's got a bit of pedigree too, doesn't it?
Yeah, no pressure, but no, very excited to be here in Tasmania for the first time. Long time since I've been in the ARC, and really looking forward to just getting on the stage this morning, getting used to the car. By the time we get back to service, we will have doubled our kilometres in the car, so we'll have a bit more of a feel for it.
An outstanding addition to our field, Rusty.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, it's been well documented. She's talked about the comeback from that crash some years ago, and it's just great to see her back and enjoying her rallying. Made the return to the New Zealand Championship in the last year or so and jumped at the opportunity to come over here and be a part of this in the car that Tom Christensen competed in earlier in the year for Maximum Motorsport, the older generation Skoda. But, man, he made it work for him, didn't he?
Well, that's it. She's used to the Citroen, obviously, in New Zealand and could be over there competing this weekend. But she said, I've done that, been there, done that before. I wanted a new challenge and I wanted to come and do Tassie for the first time. Said it was like putting on a new pair of shoes. You know that they're really good. It just takes a bit to make them comfortable to your feet.
Yeah, and I'd expect her to take her time to come in. You want it to be by Sunday afternoon to know you got at one with it. Her championship was finished over there. She said, it's my longest haul event. I want to look at that. I think that's when the eyeballs, you know, Hayden Patton coming over here, the eyeballs come across and go, oh, it looks pretty good over there. New challenge. I think she's going about it the right way. So far from what I've seen on times, doing a good job. Interested to see her style through a section of road like this.
Interesting comment there before too, just in terms of miles in this machine in the build-up. So she'll be a lot more acquainted with this Skoda by the time we get to service. So tidy lines by the look of it there at the moment from Emma.
Yeah, she's done a good job down the hill there, and that's what you'd expect, just taking the right thing. The Kiwis in the background there, you can see just lifting off a little earlier on the tarmac before she comes through. That's the way to play it. That's exactly what you'd expect for the first time here, first Q stages in a car like this.
And of course, Extreme E competitor with McLaren a few years ago. I wonder if she's Team Lando or Team Oscar Piastri. We might catch up with her a little bit later and find out. But right now we should hear from Richie Dalton. Welcome back, Richie.
We're thrilled to have you back, and you didn't want to miss this one, did you?
No, it's actually my first gravel rally since this rally last year, actually. So it's been a while. I've been away with surgery, and I've been to Ireland and I did a couple of tarmac events. So this is my first gravel rally back, and the roads are unbelievable. So really looking forward to it.
Richie Dalton, what a great character he is.
And he's done some great things supporting, among others, in the background, Taylor Gill, who's been competing in the Junior World Rally Championship this year. Taylor will join us for our live stream this afternoon. So he is here in Tasmania. He's been helping out in all sorts of different ways, reconnaissance and so on. Going to be cool to tap into his rally brain later today.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, obviously heartbreaking what happened over there. And, if you've been following rallying, you'd know all about that. So, but good that he's come in here. And it just sort of shows the intent. He's not giving up. Come and do, I'll come and do the wrecking Tassie. Who knows? I might be here next year. The ARC's got some great cars here. He wants to drive a Rally 2 car. That's where his aim was to do in the International Championship. A bit wide there from Richie, just on the shot of the drone there. I thought that was a little wide. And your words there, Stubbsy, he's a great character. He loves rallying. He's done a bit of stuff in Ireland of recent. Likes this car, really loves to drive it. Doesn't do as much driving in the last couple of years as we've sort of seen before. Very flamboyant, you sort of see there compared to Emma. Just a little bit more of a flick, a little bit more attitude. That's what we come to expect.
A little more cautious over the bridge, I'd say, yeah.
As you'd expect, because the notes are, you're going so quick, what does that guy do? He hasn't had as many kilometres as some of the front-running cars, so that's a good run there from Richie.
So at this point, we might get another quick recap if we can, if anything else has come through to give us an update.
The only
there,
thing
Dino?
I've got from this stage is a Hayden Patton time, would you believe, of 6:24.8, so that's the time to beat. I have nothing else from stage 3, so I don't have that one there, but to go to our Subaru results page and go back to stage 2. Let's have a little bit. Oh, here we go. We've got just a time through. Only Lewis's time from 3. He was 1.1 behind Hayden. So overall, I only know those two. They are only, what are we talking, stage time there. Lewis beat him in that one. Overall, 1.1 second, that's the
Okay.
gap. So they're 1.1 after nearly 40 seconds of running.
I don't want to get nervous here, but I actually want to get these Kiwis who've come across the bridge out of the way as quickly as possible, because we'll have
Troy Dow is coming through in just a couple of moments' time. Hey, we should give a shout-out to Troy Dow, shouldn't we, in terms of what he has done this year. We know he's had his health battles, the cancer battle that Troy has been facing, and to continue to turn up, and the performances that he's delivered this year is outstanding across the season.
Great family, and rally's a good tonic. You got some fantastic people in the background here in a community sense, Stubbsy, as you know. It's great. You can park all that stuff and just go and enjoy some competition, and clearly he does that.
Yep, and does it so well too, doesn't he, Dino?
He does, and the thing is, he's very competitive. Like, he's very quick. He sort of needs a little bit of confidence. He's got Bernie Webb alongside him. Once he's on the money with the notes and being committed, I think Tassie will suit him. I feel like the same sort of style as Lewis. He'll build his confidence, and that's where the speed comes from here. Still fairly new to this car, remember, even though he's been in most of the rounds, he hasn't done some kilometres. Like, I think in Victoria, he parked it very early, etc. So good to see him here. Nice run through the hairpin. He knows how to steer a car. He's got very, very good car controls. He comes now down towards us onto the tarmac. Let's see if he gets excited here. No, just nice straight line, hovering on the throttle. Probably a little bit of left foot brake, and then lines it up and plucks the gears out of us through this fast section.
Fantastic stuff there from Troy Dow, of course, son of the former champion of our series in Justin. Peter Rullo will be our next runner through. Rusty caught up with Pete earlier today.
Been a hell of a year for you. Nice to be at the final round. Is it just pure fun?
Oh, look, we've got a few memories from last year, but looking forward to kind of getting through to the end of this one and kind of having that celebration drink at the end. But no, the roads are looking great out there, so yeah, looking forward to it.
And what do we make of the season so far for Pete Rullo this year? He's obviously been punctuated with a couple of big moments.
Yeah, absolutely. But on the flip side, Stubbsy, I love the commitment from this team, what they've brought to it. I mean, obviously Alex has come through. We've talked about it on a number of occasions, the sort of circuit racing background, but there's a proper deep love from the Rulos as far as rally is concerned. What you can't see off to the side of our cameras at the moment is a sea of silver fern flags. All of the Kiwis that have been barracking for Hayden Paddon have wandered up to our broadcast position here just on the other side of the bridge. So they're enjoying the rally action. Drone showing you Rullo on approach in the Skoda this weekend. Has sort of mixed and matched throughout the year, hasn't he? Running the Hyundai on occasion.
And a co-driver change as well, normally with Ben Searcy, of course, but Ben is now with Emma Gilmore, so he's got Kelly Thomas on board, Dino.
Yeah, so Kelly actually, I didn't know she could do a bit of co-drive. Like, she drives a competitive WRX in the state championship. Once again, rally family, etc. So she'd no doubt have her eyeballs open today in a Rally 2 car in Tasmania with Peter Rullo on board. He's on board the Skoda, as you say. Ben Searcy hopping alongside Emma because they compete together in the New Zealand Championship. So a good deal there done. See, almost hear the MRF protesting on there. He's got a little bit of lock on. A little bit of couple of dabs at it as Pete Rullo comes through there. I've got a few times coming through. We've got everyone bar, would you believe, Harry and Scott on the board. So stage time wise, we'll update you shortly on that.
Did look like a little dab of the brake mid-bridge.
Yeah,
was that to try and,
just to get the nose in, and that's, like you said, as we start to get the runners down, they're having a second bite at it, basically.
Okay.
Our next runner, speaking of Tasmania, very popular down here, of course, Bodie Reading. He may be a southerner, but up north we'll still accept a southerner if they're doing something impressive on a national stage like Bodie has been. Rusty, you had a beautiful sit-down chat with him. That feature is available on our socials. He's in a really good headspace as he looks for 3 in a row in the Wolf Production
really
Cup.
is. And he, let's remember, at the start of the championship, if you said to him, would you have dreamt of even being in this position, it was really no chance, and to your point
it's
about
an older spec car,
but I mean, and the way that he's been able to stitch it all together with some great support, and just to your point on his location, I mean, he's a couple of hours south of Hobart. It's actually quite a mission to get here all the way up on the northwest coast to Burnie.
Can you go a couple of hours south of Hobart?
Well,
can you get down that deep?
Yeah, you can, down past Wollongong, right to the tips.
He'd be used to
it's cold.
No wonder he's always got a beanie on.
Here he comes.
Comes in a shot. I'll just update. So we don't have Scott Pettis on. We know he dropped, 15 seconds in front of us. So Lewis Bates looks like he's going to win stage 3 by 0.7 to Harry, 1.8 to Hayden, then 10 odd seconds back to Rullo, Dalton, and then Gilmore. Times we have so far. So overall, without knowing how much Scott's dropped so far, Harry Bates in the lead of the rally by 5.3 to Hayden Paddon.
older gen WRX, but there is something beautiful about these machines, and he's pretty much got it worked to its, if you'll pardon the pun, the maximum, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely has. I mean, they're very, I keep saying it every round, they're very mechanical in the way they drive. So, interesting to see how he goes around his head. But he has to flick it more. He doesn't have the diff technology. So he's always driven around there. He might have liked to have it a bit more flicked in, but it's efficient. Bucking the gears. Very raw box, the Subaru sounds. Have a listen as he goes past us. And you can see the commitment, line it up and just nailed it. No lift, no movement of the car. That's someone who's very confident and a good driver.
So he needs to win the production class to overtake Clayton Hoy, who's not with us this weekend, and that would mean 3 titles in a row for him. So that's the challenge ahead for him. This is where we are. This is Burnie with the beachfront. We're at a hotel that overlooks the beautiful beaches, and yesterday didn't quite look this sunny, but in the lead-up in the previous days, it certainly has been a spectacular place to be. The coastal towns, historic villages, there's food and wine, the produce, the rich red soil around here, Rusty. Gee, it makes some of the best food and vegetables in this country.
I think you've missed distilleries in there and a few other places we might have visited along the way. Great place. They've been so welcoming. The mayor, Tini Brumby last night, in the rain last night to wave the field away there. Didn't worry about the umbrella. She was just so pleased after last year and the roll-up we had on the shores there to have rally back in town.
And a shout-out as well to the Innate Events Group, to Jill and Adrian Coppen and everyone else involved in putting that event on, because it could have been quite easy given the conditions to pull the pin on it. But it was great to see the diehards. This is Heartland Motorsport territory. And to see the amount of people down getting up close and personal with their favourite drivers.
Can you hear the passion of the Tasmanian
drivers, including Hayden Peterson,
I'm going to say
another local.
He dropped a lot of time in stage 1, like 7-odd minutes. We don't know what the drama was there. I want to have a quick look at what he did in stage 2, see if he's still limping through with that or not. No, it looks like he's fixed whatever the problem was. So let's see what he's like coming through here. Hayden Peterson, Mitch Newton on board, the Tasmanian father, rallied against us in the F2 particularly back in the day. Good flick through there, and the GD tight on the sides, nearly made it easy for our guys to pack them up. Comes down towards us, the newer Jen on boat. Oh, he's got it crossed up on the way in. Whoa, he's had to crack it. Look how wide he is out there. It's like on Speedway spec.
There was a bit of a mixture there. There were moments where he got the line corrected and looking nice, but then he didn't mind holding the back out either. That was.
He's normally running a front-wheel drive car. I think he was waiting for this to front the hook up. But spectacular run from Hayden Peterson.
It's been a real project, hasn't it? Because, of course, in the charade previously, and this is a car he's really put blood, sweat and tears into.
Yeah, absolutely. And he's had a bit of a horror run, to be honest, with mechanicals and things. So, and like, shame that he's dropped so much time on stage 1, if that's correct, etc. He's obviously looking a little more okay here. I've got an update for you guys. Finally, we've got the times coming through for Scott Petter. So we now know that in that stage he dropped 21.3
in front of
Lewis.
Yeah.
Now, even with that spin and all the time it took him, he still beat Richie Dalton on the stage by half a second. So he's 5th outright. But what it does overall, it drops him to 4th. So the leader of the rally after this stage, is Harry Bates, 5.3 up. Then it's only that 1.1 from Hayden, got Patton to Lewis, and then Scott Petter now about 7 back. So it's still a really good fight on for those top 4.
So Patton pushing on, is that what that tells you? He's not going too conservative, really?
No, I feel like he's banked the seconds and the third. We've seen what Hayden Patton does so well. Consistent, solid, and not up and down. It's all well and good for Scotty to get out of the blocks and win the first 2, but he's just dumped 20. And then you've got Lewis, who's doing a good job as well. So I feel like the actual 2 consistent players in there quickly is probably Lewis and Hayden. The championship contenders.
I have a feeling that little moment behind us on the bridge is going to get a fair few views and shares. Oh, wow.
Now, our next runner, if you're playing along at home with the entry list, should be Stuart Reid, but Stuart is out of the rally. So an issue in testing, Russell.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can find some of those pictures online. Obviously did a fair bit of damage to it. That's a real shame too, because he's been on both sides of the ditch, Dino. He's been doing some good things in rallying, hasn't he?
I love Stewie being involved in the ARC and being back in it. And we've got Buckby Lotus team. I love the fact that Ben Newman and Crichton are 1 car apart. We've got a black car, a white car. It's got this sort of almost battle in itself. With the Pride of Tassie coming on here in the newer again spec. Look at him, I don't mind showing you some of his tarmac experience by getting it right out there and almost trying to give himself some feel early before he plants the throttle on the tarmac. So doing a massive job.
Chris and I obviously work on the Shannon Speed Series separately in circuit racing, and we've been running into Ben regularly during the year in Monochrome Australia GT4, a Mercedes that he runs, and so so good to see him at the wheel of a rally car again, and you know, we need to thank Buckby Motors, which happened at the commencement of our coverage here today. Naming rights or event sponsor, if you will, but they have helped in so many ways beyond that.
Well, they've provided us with vehicles for all of our entire broadcast team and the management of the Australian Rally Championship here this weekend, and we're travelling in style, aren't we? We're being very well looked after, and we can't do what we do, not just this weekend at the Buckby Motors Rally Tasmania, but throughout the year without our sponsors. And we've got an awards night here on Sunday night where we'll make sure they all get their due credit, because it takes a lot to move us around the country.
It does indeed. Now, I won't reveal my source. I've been reliably informed that someone's done the numbers on the bridge turn, and they're saying 19.4 is what Scotty dropped. So if you look at that on the stage time, he probably would have been 2 seconds behind on the stage, would have still been leader. It was all on the bridge. That'll hurt.
Bridge over troubled waters.
Yeah, indeed it was. Scotty head of troubled waters, that is. But this is when I then turned to you and said, this is when the mental game comes in. He had a great start, being consistent. He'll be really dark on that mistake, particularly right there on a surface that he probably shouldn't have done that on. But now, get through 4. Bank it, get into service. This is an enduro round. This is not a loss. You got the speed, Scott Petter. So, lots of things to play out, and that'll be great to go and speak to the teams at the Galvanised Insurance Central.
So the second of the Buckby Motorsport entries, Crichton Lewis, dealer principal formerly. 50 years he racked up at Buckby Motors before his retirement, but still it's in the blood, isn't it, for Crichton?
Oh, I love it. And it's great that they've come out and had a tackle on this. He's not as aggressive as Ben, but he can pluck along and he's very efficient on it. Got a few waves from the crowd there, obviously a couple of Tasmanians. Actually, I think a better line than Ben through there. So a bit of yin and yang. I thought Ben better on the hairpin, Crichton better on the tarmac. And interested to see how they're actually going head-to-head.
Beautiful overhead shot there from the drone as Crichton heads off through the forests. It is a spectacular part of the northwest coast of Tasmania, with the Calder Creek or river just ambling along beside us. We even took a photo opportunity earlier. It was so pretty out there. We did,
and we'll be bringing you updates right throughout the day too on our social platforms for the E-Road Australian Rally Championship. So updates from the Galvanised Insurance Rally Central, or what we affectionately know in the sport as Service Park. We'll be keeping you up to date there. And then we're back on with a live stream again later this afternoon too, and 3 tomorrow for fans, which is going to be great.
That's it. Alpha Electrics and Water, they're our sponsor name for the Service Park at the Galvanised Insurance Rally Central. So another shout out to them, a great local business here on the northwest coast of Tasmania. Tony Sullins has already wrapped up the two-wheel drive cup this year. Caught up with him earlier today. He was supposed to be in Sprinter.
Yeah.
But unfortunately not quite ready. The engine didn't have an engine, I don't think, in time for this weekend. He's been busy baling hay as well. He's another great characters of our field.
Yeah, and talking about Tasmania, we were just talking again off air that he's a former Targa Tasmania winner. So, that was probably 15, 20 years ago, something like that, in a Subaru back when Jim Richards was dominating in Porsches and things like that. So, can steer, knows the Tasmania, been here plenty of times before, and of course keeps busy as he is the Australian MRF distributor. So he's got the big truck. You think about each of our lead teams particularly, 16 tyres is their limit for the weekend, but you times that by 20, 25, and depending what privateers are doing and options and things, a massive undertaking and a great job by them during the season.
Well as trying to compete himself. He said he has hardly drawn breath week to week, and the baling season is underway, and that makes him a busy man.
Now front-wheel drive, Citroen sequential gearbox. So you saw a tight line on the hairpin, just trying to keep it on the line that has the traction. Onto the tarmac. Make sure not too much push, and then plucking the gears through. Almost short shifting its way through, it felt like there. Had a few little dramas with that car during the season, but like you say, wrapped up the two-wheel drive cup for the season a few rounds ago in actual fact.
Likewise, Jackson Long wrapped up the Junior Cup earlier in the season. Such was his dominant performance this year. Let's hear from him now.
Final weekend of school for the year, and 2026 is going to be big for you by the sounds of it, hey?
Yeah, we've had some really exciting news recently with the Skoda announcement, so super excited to be stepping up to that level and really taking on the ARC in more of a professional sense. Just looking forward to that part of my career, yeah.
What's the play with the WRX Challenge? Pete played on there, ready to go, one final hit out.
Yeah, well, mathematically we can win, but we're not here for that. We're just here to have some fun. We had an awesome time in South Australia, really love the car, so just here to have a great end to the season.
So Jackson would need to win and have a couple of DNF for his rivals if he was to take out the WRX Challenge. But that news about next year in the Fabia, that's a big step, outright campaign for him, for the youngster.
Sure is. I mean, he's been very impressive this year amongst both the cars. I think in his non-turbo RS, which he really hustle very well. Did a very good job stepping into Brinkman's car to the point that he's having another run. They had a great time in South Australia. Good, seems like mature, head on his shoulders. When you've got your father who's very experienced, Jackson's third generation, he's grown up around rallying and motorsport. So, if you're going to have someone who can critique from the passenger side with experience, it's Damien, his dad.
I love the fact that we are potentially unearthing another young star here, right? So I know it's very early days in his career, but what he's doing already, and the chance to grow in the right environment around the family that you talk about, under the Maximum Motorsport umbrella, as is the case now with WRX Challenge. Really cool.
Nice job in that car. I mean, this is very much a production car. All the challenge cars are the same, coming towards us. A little bit of push from that. Super impressive, and he's running in and amongst the production cars like the Buckby cars.
I said it before in the interview with the P plates on. I would be doing that
He's only just finished
his
HSC, literally
crazy.
3 days ago. He left down there to come and do rec. I'm going, goodness me, this guy's got a lot on.
18 years of age, remarkable. Talk to us a little bit, Dino, WRX Challenge, and as we look ahead to next year, and for people at home that have just seen Jackson going through and think, I want to be part of that, it's a great way to get into our sport, isn't it?
Well, it is, because I think what we do, we service all together. It's more about not the initial cost of the car. We try and cap that, so it's good value. It's a current spec WRX. I mean, off the showroom floor, they're $45,000 to be running around. Touch wood, they've proven to be very reliable. And once we join the team together, it's actually a very economical way to do the Australian Rally Championship, to try and, it's probably the cheapest way you can do it.
So, Stubbsy, he may not have fully sold it then. When you look around the car, the attention to detail in the build is magnificent. But fundamentally, when you look inside the cockpit, it keeps very, very true to its production roots. That's what it is all about, isn't it?
Yeah, that's true. I mean, like you said, that's not my talent in the workshop. That's our team, and particularly my father's influence and things like that. They're a beautifully built car to that point. And we haven't skipped out on anything. Like the harnesses are top level, the seats, the safety, everything is done to top-notch level that you expect from a car being built in this era. And like I said, I'm excited to see someone like Brinkman and Jackson hustling it very well, even amongst production cars, which I probably shouldn't do.
Now, we haven't pumped our mates' tyres here in commentary today, but Dino did an amazing job at Sunraysia Safari, and the guy we're watching on screen here now, Glenn Brinkman, pretty much until the midpoint of the final day or very late in the event. He was running a very different machine there, Dino, but he was keeping the acid on you, wasn't he?
Wasn't he just? So we're supposed to be mates here and looking after each other, but Glenn Brinkman, another really great person. We were very lucky to have him in the sport. Accent benchtop and sponsors. He loves most. We've got some amazing cars. We had him in the Escort in South Australia. He's back in the challenge car here. What he's done and some of the opportunities he's created, he's obviously even trying to help Toby get his foot in the door with rallying. Great, and they are having a pretty good little battle between them at the moment in the WRX Challenge.
Well, effectively, whoever finishes ahead out of Brinkman and Van Can wins the WRX Challenge. As long as they both finish, that's when Jackson, if things go wrong, touch wood, brings Jackson into the mix. But Brinkman, if he finishes ahead of Van Can, he takes it out.
Should say g'day to both Paul Wheel and Toby Price. They are knee-deep in preparations for a big event, the Baja 1000, coming up in Mexico. But Toby has loved his time in the ARC this year. He's like a teenager. He's just talking about it all the time. Tell me about this car. And
I think he sends a lot of NY105 and car photos. Should I buy this to Glenn particularly? I've had a few chats to him, etc. And just to go back to that battle between, you talk about Jackson Long and Glenn Brinkman, coming into this stage in identical cars 4.9 seconds apart. So the battle is on between someone like Brinkman, who's a former Queensland champion, he can steer, and young Jackson.
Fantastic. And Rusty just failing to mention that he'll be in Mexico and watching Toby too, flying first class all the way.
I'm not. I'm looking forward to that.
Now, this is a new car for Jaden Glusky. This is Sadie, taking its name from Stranger Things. So that was the motivation there. A crash in the TRC back in August wrote off the previous car. Mechanical engineering student at RMIT, just wrapping that up as well. Works at Toyota, but one of the most talented young drivers in our country, without doubt.
Yeah, I'm excited to see. He had a great battle with Jackson early in the year. They had pretty much identical cars, had a very big accident. I'm glad they're okay. A shout out to Lucy, who's his sister, normally co-drives. She's not in the car. Reached Llewellyn stepped in, so she's still in the recovery process, but great to see they're both okay. And really good for him to get back in. You've got to get behind the wheel.
And Lucy did too, didn't she, in testing this weekend? She did a little bit of driving just to get back in the seat.
Yeah, which is great. So, once again, good young talent. Great to see him in a car that they built up, similar to what he knows, and looking nice and committed.
Just great to see him back. I think that's, the collective effort that's gone into making that possible. and doesn't seem to, from that pass just behind us a moment ago, doesn't seem to have impacted him at all. Back to normal, which is great.
And I'd actually had a chat to him in the lead up before, a month or so ago, and he had the exact right measure on how to go about it and why he shouldn't be worried about that sort of thing.
Excellent.
And bits and pieces. So great. And like I said, this rally will help no end to that.
Yep, plenty of support for the Tasmanian. Another one of our categories that's going right down to the wire. It's 4 drives, isn't it, in terms of the classics? And
yeah.
I'll tell you what, the Garners, Shane and Sylvia, who will come through next, taking on Molly Spalding. This has been a battle throughout the year.
Well, it has indeed, and I think it was really important for Molly to be in the right position in South Australia. They were pretty pumped that they could be in the fight. It's a bit, like I said, there's a little bit to play out. They need a little bit of luck on their side, but it's just great to be in the championship fight. It gives you something to aim for and to attack, absolutely.
We'll keep shining a light on those different classes across the weekend in our live stream coverage, and of course celebrate the champions on Sunday night here as a part of the awards. So it's been a good battle between these two in this class. So
coming into this one at the moment, the Garners are up by 25 seconds on Molly in their own interbattle, and they are a car apart. So sometimes if they park in the same spot between stages, we do a 4-stage loop before they get out there. There's a little bit of mental, prep work on there. In our team this weekend, we got Simon Evans. I think he was the king of, sort of
mind games.
Yeah, mind games in between service. He refutes that, by the way, but it's a fact.
Great to see the former champion is floating around.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Galvanised Insurance Rally Central there too. Just feels like it's become a fraction colder where we're broadcasting from at the moment. A little bit of cloud cover, coming in. So just a slight temp drop here at the moment, but nothing in the way of
Greg
rain.
Rust.
No,
multi-talented, I tell you.
Hectopascals, that's my middle name.
2.2 degrees different, and he's picked it. So.
And that's going to be your excuse for not jumping into the Calder River when we finish our matches. I know you were looking forward to that too.
Yabby hunting.
I think there's actually car 25. They've lifted a TRC car competitor, probably based on the seedings and bits and pieces. And in actual fact, we had 25 down to that's the 1600 last night, which is incorrect. So you can sort of see, I think it's one of the RS with Shaw and Shedrick on board there. They've been, I think, bumped up the field just from a seeding point of view to make sure that it's, we've got the right gaps in the field. So like I said, we didn't expect that one to come through now, but an RS challenge car, same as what we see that you've got Jackson Long ran originally and then Glusky. There would been like a little mini one-mate series here in the Tasmanian Championship where they had about 10 of them battling it out at some points and a great, state level.
Tassie Devils, you can't come to Tasmania without catching up with a Tassie Devil. And I know, Rusty, you've done it previously there. They are fierce little fellas, aren't they?
Both Dean and I last year, as a part of the build-up to this event, got to go effectively to a zoo or a sanctuary and to learn
Wings Wildlife Farm,
and exactly
and
learn more about them. And they do some amazing things here around preservation and looking after the species.
Because they've had their battles.
Yeah,
the
they
Tasmanian
have,
devil with the cancer that gets into the face has been an enormous problem for the population here. They've had to take some off the mainland of Tasmania, take them over to the big island, as we call it, or even onto smaller little areas offshore here on the islands that dot Tasmania, just to try and make sure there is a safety net. But they are working super hard to, of course, ensure that icon of the state continues. And will the AFL team, the Tassie Devils, exist? That's a whole other political football part of the pundit.
Say,
we'll
when we
leave
held the little Tassie Devils, Rusty looked much more comfortable for me, apparently. You wouldn't think that I've had kids by the way I was holding them or anything.
It's a beautiful place to come. So much to see and do along this northwest coast.
Green Machine coming towards the Garners. There's a few people cheering them on their way through here. Well, we went a little wider on the run through there. A little bit of squeal from the MRF tyre. And actually having a little bit of a dip through there. I think that's probably the most impressive I've seen all year.
That probably just underscores what you were talking about too. The understeer on the left turn midpoint of the bridge, but it hooked up and away it went.
Yeah,
so
no, that's good. Good commitment going through there. I just had a quick look as well in that little battle of the WXs. In actual fact, outright terms, Glenn Brinkman's done a very good job in stage 3 here overall. He actually has now leapfrogged in front of Jackson. So there's But I would love those little into battles that we're talking about even now with Garners and Molly Spalding and two-wheel drive and juniors and stuff. Is actually a great makeup of our series.
And that's it. It's pretty information rich when we stand here and talk about the numbers and the different categories, but the Subaru Results Hub at rally.com.au is the place where you can follow along at home and just see exactly where your favourite driver is and within their own class as well. So we're not too far away from wrapping up our coverage here. We'll get at least one more car to come through, but a reminder from 2:59, that's Australian Eastern Daylight Time this afternoon. We'll be back for the second of our live stages today. So that's at stage 6 this afternoon. So looking forward to that. And across the weekend, 14 stages and that power stage to come tomorrow. One of the stages tomorrow, 43 kilometres in distance, Dino.
Longest of the championship.
Yeah.
That takes a bit of concentration, particularly on these style of roads. And what a sting in the tail when you talk about some of the championships being decided by just finishing and that sort of thing. It ain't going to be done, and that's a mammoth stage, and they do it twice. So that's a great way to finish.
A great aspect of the overall championship story, that and the fact that we're in endurance mode for the final round. So to get us all the way to the line, I mean, it could have been a scenario where things were potentially, if we were running the sprint format, if you will, sorted on Saturday night, couldn't it? So,
and that's easy because we're not doing it. Because we're standing here with microphones. It's much easier. We don't have to worry about all that stress. As Molly Spaulding comes down towards now, let's see the hatch going through. Matt Dillon on board. Great following in the lead-up. Good social media from this pair. See a bit of wheel work there. I can see the gloves on the top of there. Had a couple of little
give it away, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so to go for the black gloves. We don't want to see that and shout her out. So.
But great to see. So Molly Spaulding going through, of course, the four-wheel drive Classic Cup is what she is chasing the title this weekend. So looking forward to that. Also looking forward to your company, 2:59. So let's say 3 p.m. This afternoon for our next live stream. Rusty, thank you. We are underway, aren't we?
Absolutely. 3 Penguins. We're signing off for now, but we'll be back this afternoon.
And Dino, just once more in terms of this stage, just for a wrap-up for everyone
Wrap up
at
with the
home
stage time. So Lewis Bates on top in this one. Harry Bates, Hayden Padden, Alex Rouleau, Scott Patter, we know about that one. Richie Dalton, Emma Gilmore, Troy Dow, Peter Ruller, and a shout-out, Aidan Peterson in front of Bodie Reading on this one. So without that big time loss on stage one, he's coming out fighting.
There you go. The takeaway, Lewis Bates, he's doing every bit that he can to try and stay alive in this championship. We'll see you again later this afternoon. We look forward to it. Thanks for your company.